Guys, I think there's a hole in the boat.
If you hate this boat so much, why don't you just leave it?
Whoa. Okay, no offense, but you're not really like a boat expert. My dad works for Bass Pro Shops, and he says that water in boats is like not a big deal.
That's right, if there's a hole in the boat, it's because it's supposed to be there.
Now, okay, hold on. This guy's right. Okay, there's water in the boat. We need to acknowledge it. That's why at 7 o'clock tonight, port side, I'm going to be holding a rally to raise awareness for boat holes. Okay, that's great. Could we maybe just plug the hole, though? Hashtag save the boat.
It is absolutely impossible to have constructive discussions anymore in the United States. And it doesn't even just feel like it's with regards to politics, right? It seems like every sphere of public life is a giant cluster of hatred, anxiety, projection, and confusion. This video demonstrates the delusion of the right when it is confronted with the performativity of liberals, and adds in the language policing the left is so good at and the utter inaction of centrists. And I know we all feel this, but we also probably all do it as well. I know I do. It feels like we're all starving and scrambling for any scraps of food thrown our way. The way American public life currently operates is like it's a zero-sum game where none of us win. And this video points out that while this is the national tenor, real emergencies are happening and no one is doing anything about them. But it also, just on its face, shows how terrible this way is of living life. Not only do we have real tangible national crises like the Supreme Court's quick descent into right-wing activism or massive inflation on top of a housing crisis, but we also are facing an emotional and spiritual crisis that has us not trusting our neighbor and despising people on the other side we've never actually met. We only know what their Twitter bio looks like. Like the boys in the boat, a nation that operates like this will sink.
So Republicans are always talking about how they're the party of freedom, but let's just be real about it. You've removed bodily autonomy rights from women. You have removed basic human rights from the trans community. You have removed inclusion rights from the LGBTQ plus community to the point where you can't even mention the community or anything relating to the community in educational centers and government offices in certain states.
Let's talk for a minute about freedom. Now, as this video points out, the Republicans are not the party of freedom. They've done a good job branding themselves as such. A lot of people think that that's what Republicans stand for. They stand for small government, limited government interference into your private life, the freedom and liberty to do whatever you want. But in reality, in this moment we're living in right now, shows that's not the case.
You have disproportionately supported a for-profit prison system that breaks apart certain communities at an incredibly high rate. Your racism is very clear. You've even gone as far as to attempt and fail to block a Supreme Court justice from becoming one due to the color of her skin, because it certainly wasn't due to her qualifications. There is nothing about this party that represents freedom for anybody that isn't, let's be real, white, straight, cis, and male.
How most black people feel about voting for Biden.
Yeah. Make history, baby. You made history, baby.
Let's go.
Black power, baby. Yeah.
Damn, history.
God is good. All the time.
All the time, baby.
God is great. God is great.
It's Florida, baby. Florida, we flipped it, baby. We flipped it. We're not from Florida. Not from Florida. Hit the road, Trump. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Trump. And don't you come back no more. What's that song? Man, we up.
New polling suggests that black voters may be souring on Democrats. So you have found that Biden's approval with black Americans is down. How far are we talking here?
I mean, it's really down. I mean, you can see it here. At the beginning of his term, he was at 87%. Look at where he is over the last few months. 67%. That's a 20-point drop. And not only is it a 20-point drop, that's 67%. Barack Obama, the last Democratic president, never dropped below 75% in any Gallup poll. So this is lower than Barack Obama ever was.
Recent CNN polling has come out and has shown that Joe Biden's approval rating amongst black voters has dipped all the way down to 62%. Which is an insane number when you consider his predecessor as Democratic president, Barack Obama, never dipped below 77. So at most points, it was in the 80s and 90s at its worst. Nadir, it was at 77. Joe's at 62 right now. In fact, according to Harry Anton of CNN, the Democrats have never gotten less than 75% of the black vote in any election this century. That's 20 freaking years where they could count on, at the very worst, 75% black support in all national elections, which is just an insanely high number for any demographic group, and shows you how consequential black votes are to this Democratic Party coalition.
There's no sense in having 40 years of Senate experience only to tell us that you can't whip 2 votes.
It sounds like you're disappointed in President Biden.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, and especially on this issue and some other issues, we're not even having a conversation about police reform anymore, even though we had historic summers, a year of protests. So there's some other issues, but particularly when we're talking about voting rights, yes, we're disappointed. We did a whole summer and fall of protests outside the White House to get him to do more. And we want to be clear, the source of the problem is not Joe Biden. Truth be told, it's not even Manchin and Sinema. The source of the problem are the Republicans that are attacking our rights on a daily basis, including in the state of Georgia, where not only did they pass a voter suppression last year, not only did they gerrymander the maps last fall, but even right now they're about to go into a new session where they're going to try to attack voting rights even further. That's the source of the problem. What we're disappointed in is the president that we put in power with the elections last year in the midst of a pandemic.